my feet, a light unto my path. It's like having light upon your feet and walking through the darkness. Wherever there is light, wherever light shows, darkness has to run. And you're able to see where you're placing your feet, and you're able to walk in safety. You're able to lie down and not be worried about the pestilence that comes by night, because God, his divine illumination lights your path. It lights your night, and you lie down and you sleep, and your sleep is sweet. Oh, what a mighty God we serve. John 16:3 says, howbeit, when he, the Spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. What a mighty God we serve. God provides not only divine illuminations, but he provides the Holy Spirit. He guides you, and he gives you wisdom and understanding and discernment, and he allows you to stand in truth and integrity, because he orders your steps. He loves you enough to show you the right way, the right path in life by which we can go and live and breathe and have our beings and love others as Christ has loved the church. Oh my God. God is able to preserve your going. Psalms 121:8 says, the Lord shall preserve your going out and your coming in this time forth and even forevermore. God's got it, my brothers and sisters. Just let him use you to do the things that he would have you do, and watch your life be so much better. And remember, as always, there's a way out of your mess, and it's JESUS. He loves you.
Where can you buy a brand new Nissan with a lifetime warranty? Kingston Pike. Hey, folks, Gerald Anderson with Ted Russell Nissan. You heard it right. Every new Ted Russell Nissan comes with a lifetime warranty, and that's a long, long time. Ted Russell Nissan on Kingston Pike.
Good morning and welcome to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Ask Your Neighbor can also be heard and seen on our website, WYSHradio.com. And if you are in Anderson, Rome, or Morgan County and have Comcast cable, you can watch Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV Channel 12. Ask Your Neighbor is the program where you call in and do just that. Ask Your Neighbor. Do you have a comment? Do you have a problem? Or do you have a question? Then call in and ask your neighbor. 865-457-1380 or toll free at 877-711-4005. And for those of you that might be listening or watching on the internet, you can email from our website, WYSHradio.com. Just click on the Contact Us button and email your questions. Now sit back and listen as listeners throughout East Tennessee and the entire world answer your questions on Ask Your Neighbor on BBB TV 12 and AM 1380 WYSH.
Good morning, everybody. This is Ask Your Neighbor. David West stars the stories of the Kaz Walker Show. Dave and Howard in the hot seats this morning.
Yeah.
Good morning, fellas.
If you got any good stories and you want to tell them about Kaz Walker, come on the show, and we'd love to hear them.
There you go.
And if we heard them, we'd life anyhow.
If we heard them, we'll just
still life.
We'll add to them.
Or cry, or whatever it is you're supposed to do. Oh, we tell them all the time over, and somebody will have a brand new one.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty of brand new ones.
You know, I forgot about the deal where you was telling about him buying the front pages of papers.
I was over talking over Gerald at Ted Russell Nissan, and he told me that story for the first time, and he's even got a picture of it, over there in his office.
I might have a copy of that. I may have it, but
yeah.
I'd rather buy one or get another and have to go through all that files. I've got big old books of his, big books like that.
Mm-hmm. Just the file clippings?
Of his commercials and ads he run and all the novelty stuff he put in it. I don't know. I guess I got, when I got the save and stuff or something, I got a lot of stuff and they give me a lot of stuff. But I every once in a while I open them down and look at them.
Mm-hmm.
What is it got? I saw one here a while back said, shopping at Cass Walker's is like going out with a grass widow. You can't overdo it. Oh, you know, you may have saw it. It's a hen on a nest,
mm-hmm.
and a rooster is leaving her, the one that's on the nest. He's after another hen. It says, we're after new business. We take good care of old business. Well, he had some of the best cartoons, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I got them old newspaper clippings.
He just come up with those off the fly?
Huh?
He would just come up with those off the top of his head?
He probably saw them in different places, or some of them. You know, I made up a few things like that.
I remember.
And I tried to change it differently every few weeks.
Yeah.
Rick said, David can get on one old subject and just keep going, and it just gets better every week. You know, they got this, you heard that thing about the old guy got married, and I wrote one, I ain't used this yet, but I'll be using it. Said this man told his wife and him was sitting on the porch, and she said, honey, you gonna get married again, you know? And yeah, I'd have to. I can't run this farm. You gonna let this new guy drive a John Deere tractor? And, well, we have to have a tractor. Where you gonna let him wear my bib overalls? Oh no, he's too tall for them. You know? Well, I changed it. This guy said, him and his wife was talking, and what you hear this third one said, he said, he asked her, said, are you going to, no, she asked him. Said, he said, you're going to get married again. That's what it was.
If she dies, would he get married again?
Yeah. Going to get married again. Said, I have to. Said, well, what are you going to do? You're going to let this guy, and he went on in picking the banjo, and he said, oh, no, he plays guitar. That's the same old joke. Well, so I wrote one, and Rick ain't got to hear this yet. I said, you know, this man and woman sitting in a swing, and she looked over at him and said, honey, if something happened to me, you going to get married again? He said, well, yeah, I'd have to. I can't cook, and I can't sew, and I can't wash clothes. I don't know anything about the household. And she said, well, this new lady that you get, are you going to let her wear my jewelry? And, well, then he's giving it away. Does her head or somebody else? Said, well, all these fine suits that I've got, said, you going to let her wear them? That I always had to wear at work. Said, oh, no, she works at the Mouses there. She didn't need no suits, did she? I like getting in on Rick every week when I go in, or every time we play, you know. No, she works over the Mouses.
Rick usually has one or two to tell, don't he?
Oh, he starts from the time he gets there to the time he leaves.
Mm-hmm.
Creed Daniels is always there. He's there on every show, I reckon. He'll call, you play anywhere this week? And, I mean, he's sitting there telling them, rolling them.
Yeah, he usually does.
Yeah, I think about hired this one. See, Owen Richardson, he probably listened to us. Owen Richardson and Ellie White and Jack Green, you know, the big singer. They were in service together, all three of them.
Boy, that would have been something to run with, wouldn't it? That would have been something to see, those three together.
I guess Owen went and clapped, you know, grin. And Ellie and Green, they played music together, see, in service.
Yeah.
And Ellie said they could make more money at the nightclubs than they could standing guard duty, and he'd give his old boy his check.
He'd pay him.
And let him play. And Owen used to come over every time Ellie come up there because it's sight here them two talk. I'd be running back and forth, and I'd get a little of them. But I went back there one night. Who said hired? I mean, this guy, and he said, David, don't you meet one of my friends? You met him at the barbershop, didn't you? How'd you meet him?
Yeah, oh yeah, he's come my hair, and I just teenager and stuff back in.
Yeah. Then you started driving for him and being with him on shows.
Yeah, hanging out over at the barbershop, and that's when him and the banjo picker. Like when nobody cutting hard, they sit there and pick and sing, whatever. So, I mean, I just got entertainment all the time. But Ellie, I said, of course, in later years, he said, you know, Howard said, of course, Ellie didn't talk a whole lot, but me and him got to be pretty tight. He said, you know, Howard said, I'd like to go to Nashville and write songs and stuff. And he said, I'm afraid I can't make it. I said, well, Ellie, I said, you got it made now? Well, no. I said, well, you got to listen. You can always come back to it.
Yeah.
So in a week or two, he called me and said, hey, what are you doing? I said, I ain't doing nothing. He said, you want to go tonight for me and Meredith? We're going to this apartment.
Go and look for an apartment, huh?
He said, now, you may have to feed me. He said, if I go hungry, I said, that's all right, I'll do that. But he didn't. He made it good.
How long did it take him when he went down there to get put together with somebody? Do you remember?
Well, pretty much right off, he got hooked up somehow with Conway.
Did he?
Yeah. He started writing because went back when him and Davis were going to Gatlinburg. He done noticed 1, 2, 3 number ones.
Yeah, first I Love You More Today.
Yeah.
You can.
So that was in what, 70s, wasn't it?
69.
Yeah.
1969.
Yeah.
He hit it. That was his first.
In the right place, right time.
Well, and 60, so yeah, 65.
Yeah.
Me and Ellie went to Nashville to the DJ convention, which was then, wasn't CML. And so right after that.
Yeah, see, he still came back and worked for Barnum and Buster.
Yeah.
That's work for them. So he's traveling. He was traveling Barnum and Buster when I went to work there. He's still coming from Nashville up here and stay in a motel and go. I mean, when we got home, he'd stay one night usually because we come in 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning or 1. And, but anyhow, we was playing walking the streets and he's broke. His old Cadillac was so tore up. We had a lawnmower shop, and Ken had to work on it every day to get back up Gatlinburg one more time. There's no blue, 64, wasn't it? I believe.
Yeah, it's junk. Hell, he did take care of that.
Wore plumb out. He'd patch up a generator or whatever they had on, man. And hell, he just hand to mouth.
Yes.
And of course, I guess he's sent somebody, his kinfolk or somebody up here probably. But anyhow, he walking the street, but he told me right before that, he said, you know, I found a guy that don't know what to do. He said he's got a good album out, and he did, but he sung like everybody. He sung like Marty Robbins and everybody. He said he can't find himself.
Yeah.
And said he's switching from rock going into country. And so when he did, he was working for Carlton Haney, and they just started booking him, this new guy. It was Conway. And he had this song, and he got Carlton short to him. That's where he got started. See, well, we were playing Walking the Streets. He got his first royalty check, $10,620. And that evening, one night we had to be off up there. We had to go and do TV on Tuesday night. I always had to do, that's a syndicate of 28 states.
Yeah.
And you'd have one going out. That's back when they had them great old big spools.
Yeah, big old reels that they put them on.
One was going out and one coming in.
Yep.
Because them things cost a lot of money. And sometimes it'd get wet and run it, and they'd just play a rerun of the last week. Because I remember that nails messed up another and Buster up. Get him $200 or $300 that thing cost back in. And so I come in, and there he sat in the dressing room. He said, guess what I got today? And I said, what? He handed me his check, $10,620. And I said, what are you going to do for that? He says, this quote, I want to take it to the bank and get $1,000 bills for all of it. Of course, you couldn't get them in no how. I said, what are you going to do then? I'm going to go show Alan Collins how much I made. He said, I would never make it in Nashville. And then I said, what are you going to do then? He said, well, go buy me a new Cadillac. It's about 6,000. 6,000. And when he did, why? Oh, but he still traveled Bone and Buster. Even.
Oh, yeah, for a long time. He still drove.
He come up maybe, well, he worked that whole season after that.
Yeah.
And then I think we still worked some stuff with him, not much. He started tapering off right then, because when he started to Conway went there and ran a big office in Tree because he saw he was going to be big.
Yeah, he was over at Tweety Bird Publishing Company,
Yeah.
which was Conway's.
Publishing.
He had offices on all that.
I was trying to see if I could find a list of his songs. I mean, it's amazing.
Conway, what was he? Conway, Tweety, and the Blue Boys, wasn't it?
I don't remember. When he started out in rock and roll?
Yeah, starting off.
Yeah.
Look up Conway, Tweety, and Blue Boy. It was it the Blue Boys or something like that? Because he had that, I'm a lonely blue boy, you know.
Yeah.
He had that
I don't remember.
George had a band one time, something about Blue Boys or something.
Yeah.
Too.
Jones Boys. He had Jones Boys one.
I don't ever remember Conway having. I don't remember.
Look up.
I'm gonna check it out right
see
now.
See what his first hit. He had it wasn't a smash, but it was a pretty good hit in the Rockville.
Image of Me, wasn't it?
I don't know. He had a song called "Lonely Blue Boy."
Lonely Blue Boy, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. That's one of his songs.
He had that, wasn't it?
Yep.
I'm a Lonely Blue Boy, yeah.
But
he came here to Clinton.
Yeah, somebody told us that didn't he play the fair? Or no, he played the high school, didn't he?
He played for Hammers. They sponsored him, brought him here.
Did they?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that. I thought he played the high school.
I remember when he came here. I was real young, a lot younger then. I don't even know if I was going to high school yet or not.
Didn't one of them boys that you brought out to do the movie props, didn't one of them play for him, open for him that time when he was here? Talked about that. He played guitar for...
Skip worked with him.
One of them.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah, see, I've just had to put that together. I'm just kind of in my mind, but...
Yeah.
I knew so many things back in those days. We was on a road up north, and I told it before, but when we come in, I can see L.A. right now. 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, we got in, and I said, buddy, one thing when I get home, I'm going to go in there and tell Mama cook me some ham and red gravy and biscuits. And he said, well, where you going to get it tonight? I said, home. Mama cook it for me. She'll be glad to see me. And I said, come on, you're going to go with me. We're going to eat good tonight. He said, it wasn't night, it was morning.
Yeah.
I knocked on the door. L.E. wouldn't even go up to the door. He stood about 25 feet out in the yard and looked at me. He said, you're going to get in trouble. I said, your mama ain't going to. I said, Lord, she'll be glad to see me. I knocked on the door. I was young, real young, 20s, early 20s, I guess. I said, I knocked on the door, Mama, oh, my baby's back. I said, Mama, I'm craving some biscuits and gravy and eggs and ham and some red gravy. And she said, well, who's that with you there? And I said, that's L.E. White, the one you see on TV. She said, well, tell him come on in.
Gotta get out of the yard.
She said, L.E., David thinks I'm a giant. I can just flip in things after it takes 45 minutes to cook his breakfast. Said, y'all better go in there and watch some TV or something till your daddy jumps up out of bed in his PJs and he's in there with us till they got up and we just had homecoming up there. Oh, Lord, he used to talk about that. Buddy, your mama sure can cook. He'd always, we had a shed built outside, covered over, and he'd come so he could get in there, and her mama would always fix that big table loaded with food, and it's good. She's a real cook, wasn't she?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And Ellie's always say, I just love coming up here. I just love to eat.
He does.
It's good home cooked food. They was so sweet to him, Oh, we stayed up to no telling when. We might probably at 4 o'clock in the morning. Having such a good time. He wasn't used to nobody having family like we was. We was
Well, you didn't. I mean,
if one of us had it, we all had it, and we loved each other.
Yeah, exactly.
I was raised by one of the best mother and daddies. I'm not saying everybody else wasn't either, but I don't know how they were, but I really had a good one.
Yeah.
Daddy, he tried to teach me everything. I told him yesterday, somebody, he took his hands and held them apart and drawed a lifespan. He said, now, David, you're here for this long, maybe. You might be short, but more than likely it'll be like this. And every day it comes closer to the end. And he said, now, don't worry about something getting lost. Nothing ever gets lost. If you don't get it, to other people will. How many people you think's on this farm before we come here? See? Mm-hmm. Down the line, he said, now, Wednesdays you got to give it up. And another bunch will move in and just keep going with it. And, you know, he explained things to me. It really was.
Yeah.
And it helped me to understand it. The good Lord owned it all, and I didn't have anything.
Yeah.
But I could use it.
Absolutely.
And I was glad I could. And so he gave me a lot of outlet. The one thing he told me that I didn't agree with, I got me I traded my car for a 42 Chevrolet truck. We went up a hill that day, and it's an old farm truck, and I painted it with a brush. It was rusty, and I sanded it down and traded my little Ford car for it. I was wanting to get in business, some more business. I was already in a little bit of business. And that thing started out down there, and it was slow up a hill, old big old 4-speed transmission. My daddy looked over as we got on the very top of the hill. I borrowed his money, Faye's money, and Daddy's money. And Daddy's going to go show me how to buy a load of produce. And he said, son, you're going to an awful lot of expense to be sitting on the side of the road with a load of produce going back. This truck ain't going to make the deal. He said, it won't make the grade. That's what he said.
Don't make the grade.
Going to make the grade. And I said, I didn't say a word. I thought of John Henry. I thought, I'll make it with this truck, or I'll die sitting in the seat. That's towards the bull, you know. I made money from day one, and that was the best truck. Most people, Mike West will be over here with us one day. I got it from his daddy. It's a 42 Chevrolet, and it's made a few of them because the war started.
Yeah.
And I got it from his daddy. He said he remembered it, the little old truck. And we did. I spent $1.50. See, I can remember all that stuff. $1.50 for a used battery, and 50 cents for 2 cups that went in the driver's side left wheel, and fixed that. That's all I was spending on it. It had a late model motor in it. It was just a good truck, but it was rough. Mm-hmm. So I sanded it down with a war brush, and somebody gave me some red paint, and I painted it red like it was. It was red anyhow. Mm-hmm. Outside the rust, and I covered it all white. Mr. Absent had done taught me how to use a big brush that fine hair, and I could put a good paint job on it. Put white walls on it, and he put big old cider jugs on the side. Said David's Cider Place. That's what we first started calling it. And I started making money with that truck. This guy gave me 5 times what it was worth. I wasn't ever going to sell it. I said, I'll keep it till I die. And here come a guy who wanted it real bad. I got well over $1,000. I probably had $150 in the car that I traded for it. Because, I was broke. I didn't have much put into it. Yeah. And when I did, I told Daddy I went down there, and I said, this guy, I can get over $1,000, between $1,200 and $1,500, but I'll get $1,000 at least off of him, because he's going to trade me a car, the way we'd worked it out. I just hate trading my truck. Dave said, son, I know you hate to let that old truck go, but this has changed a lifetime, man. He said, you're getting 10 times what it's worth. So I sold it. I wished I hadn't have even, but yeah. I need the money right then. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
I done a lot of business with that money. And so that's that reason I built this one back. I found one in a storage building. I built it back, and Mike keeps it. He takes all of them up there one at a time, keeps them going. Fixes every little thing. I said, if it's on it, it has to work. Doors has to lock, inside light has to burn. Boy, Mike he's a whiz of a mechanic on old cars.
Yeah.
So he loves them. I gave him an A model at 135 First Place about 4 weeks ago, and put him in the A model club, got him joined.
Yeah.
He went to Dr. Bob Diffett. One of them stayed all day to talk to him about. He already knows A models by heart now.
He's figured it out.
I said, if you ever rode one of these, it's sitting there in the garage, we hadn't started in a year. If you ever rode one of these, and he said, no, I ain't never even been in one of them. I said, well, let's start this one up. I showed you 8 things you got to do before you can drive. You know, you got spark and all this stuff, gas on, spark on, juice on, you got a kill button, and then turn your switch on, run the spark up, pull your gas throttle down a little bit, pull your choke out and turn it for mixture. I mean, you have to do a lot of things. There's 10 things, 8 or 10 things you have to do. And now he
got him down pat, huh?
He goes, drives it to the meetings and everywhere. He come pick me up. Because he likes just a little bit heavy. He needs just a couple more. Well, I want to doll it up, put a back bumper. They didn't have back bumpers, and I want to put that on it. And overdrive, they didn't have that. And we're getting that put on. But man, and I got it from his daddy, see, and I started the store, and I started house to house selling produce. And I was real young. When I got that truck, probably about 21, 22 maybe. And everywhere I stopped, they liked me. And I just began to pick a banjo, and I had no open back banjo behind the seat. And I just get out, and they say, "Is you that little boy I hear play sometime?" And I say, "Yeah, will you play me one?" I just get out, sit down in a shade tree and pick with them for about 10 minutes. They'd buy stuff they already had. This one guy come out, bawled his wife out. He said, "Here you are buying tomatoes. What is wrong with you, woman?" Said, "Buying tomatoes? Potatoes? We got a garden out there going to waste." She said, "You get back in the house and shut up. He's playing me a banjo tune." I met that guy a couple of years ago at the doctor's office. His wife was in a wheelchair then, and he recognized me, and I kind of recognized them, and they rolled over where I was at, and somebody said, "Do you know David there?" And he said, "Do I know him?" Said, "He sold my wife tomatoes when she was throwing them away." He said, "He sells snow to Eskimo." Said, "On top of that, she'd run me off." He remembered it. He was kind of funny, you know. I made a lot of friends.
Well, sure.
A little bit of money and a lot of friends. You know, it's so funny. This truck had big slat holes, you know, I built out a tongue-groove floor, and somebody gave me painted white. Oh, it looked good, man. Going down a big bird or something on the hood, and white walls, and I put porter walls. It wasn't white walls. I said porter walls. Put them old porter walls on. Oh, it was a slick little thing. I painted it up, wheels black, and took aluminum paint, painted the bumpers chrome. It looked good, and I mean, I made people want it.
Yeah,
And what I did, Max, my little nephew, he hadn't started school. He'd go with me, and I said, "Now you get them long houses, and I'll get the close ones," because I was driving, and he didn't have to cross the road. I said, "Get that nut yonder, and I'll go up here." And they'd come out and start by, and they'd call me the little peddling boy. The little peddling boy's gonna come through here. Well, then I got me a milk truck, a French bottle milk truck. Oh, that thing was, you know, big with that.
Sure.
What a big milk truck was back in them days. It was a 47 Ford. And it needed a paint job, too. So I painted that big old body aluminum. It shine, that sun shine on it. And I thought, I'd like to have some paint that the fenders and the hood and the part of the cab it shows. And I asked this guy to hit any paint he didn't need, and he said, "Yeah, I got some here." It was Molly Orange. I'll never forget that. It said right on it, Molly Orange. I stirred her up, and I said, "You're going to be big orange." And I painted that thing orange, and it stuck out like people just loved it. I dolled that old truck up, and I sold hams and turkeys out of it. Got in the turkey shoot business. It was a great life. It was. And Faye, my sister, I guess she didn't know no better, and that's the best I could do. And she was helping me with the turkey shoots. Oh, we had some humongous turkey shoots. Had sheds built. Yeah. Targets in the dry, everything. Rain or shine or snow, we went. Had the biggest one around. And I took that big truck up, and we had in hams, turkeys, bedspread, blankets, Caesar chest, dolls. It's just like a rolling store. And you shot for points. You go in there and just about take your points, buy anything you want to. It's a good deal. And I run that 6 years.
Good Lord.
6 years at turkey shoot, boy.
Where'd you do it at? Up on your property?
Yeah, across the, you know where I live.
Yeah.
Well, we shot across that holler in that big bank there. And the shed that road was closed.
Yeah.
That was our road at that time. They give it back to my daddy. That's the Dixie Highway.
Yeah.
That comes from Florida to Canada. Right there, that road is, that little road.
Yep.
I got a sign up till 1918. The government took it over, and each state had to provide their section.
Yeah.
And they give them some kind of a grant to do each section. The government did, and they made it in Dixie Junction's where it crosses. That's the reason it got Dixie Junction.
Okay.
The name of the highway was Dixie, Old Dixie Highway, and we go across that road. They park all in the road up there because it was just goes to our driveway because they
Sure.
give it back to Daddy. It's still on deed, I think, but now it's turned over to county. But when they took the highway down there, they wanted to move that creek, and he told them to put it over on him because he wouldn't sell. He got way out there further because we still got the pens where they put them in the when they was doing it for the orange route, they put them in the blacktop.
Okay.
And then that big old concrete thing's still there. And so on this side of the road, we had a big shed 20 feet long, about, I guess, 8 feet wide, fronts out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Big old pot-belly stove, and I still got the coffee pot that we made free coffee. And Bill Fay a little desk over her. She had dressed up like Eskimo. She had a little desk. She couldn't feel the heat, but they would get around that big, spit that tobacco and smoke them cigarettes and get them a cup of coffee. And where other turkey shoots did 10 to a shot, we did 25 because we had such a crowd. And it's $1 a shot, so every time we shot it, we'd take in 25. Faye was over making targets and keeping books. And if you didn't want nothing this week and you won 25 points or 50, she had your name down.
Keep your
You
points.
could trade them out. And some people say, I'm just going to wait and get some stuff for Christmas. Some people be way up there, maybe 300 points. And we had a lot of that stuff at the store, too.
Sure.
If you didn't want to take it right then, you just, I'll get it at the store later. She gave them a receipt. So they had a receipt for the points, see? And you walk across the road, and there was another shed. It had, if you want to get down on your knees and shoot, it had a pole, started up here and went down to kids.
Yeah.
And the standing up went from here down. If it was raining, you just step across the road and you're in the dry again. And the target man had a bulletproof metal building, and he set them one at a time. Nobody could cheat that way. Boy, they'd be ready to say, he'd holler your name out. Jones, holler real loud, and he had a good voice across that holler. He's up on that hill over there in a booth, like a telephone booth. And he said them shells go,
I come right by him.
Heavy gauge metal, I knew nobody was going to shoot that. And he'd set 25 targets, he'd bring them back and give them to me, and I had a bar where I'd measure them with calipers. And nobody could see who won because their name was on the opposite side, see, real light with a pencil. And I'd say, look here, everybody gather around, everybody's on this. I'll say this is the winners. Everybody agree on this? Yeah, well, you got the calipers, you see it's right, whoever's closest.
Yeah.
I turned it over, Joan, Bill, Sam, whoever it was. And nobody ever had an argument. I mean, we did it flu-proof.
Yeah.
But man, they'd work on them guns to win. Oh, they wouldn't have that.
Oh, I'll tell you what they would do. I don't know, it never would work, but I don't know why they'd do it. They'd take them shells, get the same shell, they'd get the hulls like they shot, take them home and reload them themselves and put more powder in them.
Yeah.
Try to make it. But none of them hardly ever won that had that. That man told me, he said, now you mean to tell me he can take a do-it-yourself kit and build a better shell than Peters or Winchester or somebody?
Yeah.
He said, they're wasting their time. One thing they would do is wad it up. If they missed it, they missed the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And this guy had one some stout. He got it there and shot, and it blowed 3 inches out of the top of his barrel. One thing killed him, and went through the roof. There's a hole that big, went through the roof.
What?
You know what? Probably busted his ears. He said, when he shot that thing, boom, and it knocked him backwards. He fell backwards. Nobody said nothing. Good night, his gun blowed up. Yeah, it did. He put so much powder in it, see? And we won't lose shotguns. And of course, the guy that was setting targets slipped over and picked his hull up. So if anything's said, here it is, and we know it's been reloaded. And he didn't say nothing. He kept coming, but we didn't get no more loads like that.
I don't reckon.
It blowed a hole through the roof that big.
That's crazy.
It blowed 4 inches out of the top of that gun. If it's come back on him, it blew his head off.
Yeah.
It went through the top. And that metal come off that gun, went through the top, blowed a hole that big.
Where'd the bullet go? Did it go through the barrel?
Target. He missed a target, I guess, but...
Oh, and it just... The explosion from the shell just blew the gun apart.
Everything went out and killed him when he blew the top of the gun in. The piece of gun, about 4 inches long, went through the roof.
Good Lord.
Yeah, I saw a lot of things in my day.
Yeah, I reckon so.
You know what?
I wouldn't have thought that possible, that you could blow it up, you know.
Yeah, well, it was in breeches. They call them breeches, ain't it? Yeah. Those are tight, you know, and it's thick back there. It'd come near going out the top, and it would come at you.
Oh, yeah, it sure would.
But anyhow, that was a big thing.
He didn't win the turkey shoot then, huh?
Huh?
He didn't win?
No, he didn't. I don't think he even got it. Probably all together and hit a ball. If he'd hit that building over, he'd heard some ringing, I tell you. He might have got hurt with that thing. It might have went through that big ball. Boy. He put the black powder to it, see, and he thought, I'll blow the center of that thing out, and it didn't. But when it blowed up, no telling where it went.
That's amazing.
Of course, we used to reload.
Well, it went out through the top of the gun. He had to. It come back.
Yeah.
We had a...
It never did get out of the barrel because it went through the top of the gun, didn't it?
Loader, and we'd go at target practice like dove hunting and stuff. Well, we'd reload our own shells and stuff to practice with.
Sure.
But we'd buy from the store to go to actually dove hunt with. But because they's expensive, you buy some, you go dove hunt, you waste a box of shells just like that. And so we'd load them and practice, you know.
Yeah, because y'all could make them cheaper than you buy them.
Oh yeah, a lot cheaper.
Yeah, you make them a lot cheaper than you buy them.
We'd save our hulls and stuff. And we had the powder and all that stuff. Yeah, you could load pretty good shell.
They had a lot better shell.
What'd you do? How'd you make the bullet, the actual bullet that you loaded it with? You stuck in the shell.
Do what now?
How'd you make the shot, the actual bullet? Did you melt it?
Well, you buy them in a big pack.
Yeah, you buy them in a pack.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And drop them down in there.
Gotcha.
And then push that thing down, seal itself.
Pack it, yeah.
Put the packing and wadding in, or whatever they call it, and then, you can load them in. Yeah. And
of course, you load it up with them shot, you know, and put more shot in it. You're supposed to have it.
That's the way, I told you, that's the way we clean them cider jugs.
Put the
Mr. Absent went
shells down there.
Take a couple of the big shot. Or he'd take a pack of BBs. If he didn't have BBs, he'd just take it out of a shotgun shell. A couple of them. And he'd throw them down in a gallon jug. That syrup, so we bought syrup jugs. Back in, all your Cokes and everything come in syrup jugs, and they give you the jug. They didn't take them back.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we put them in a case, and we'd sell them to people. Moonshiners wanted them, or somebody, you know, making whiskey or something.
Yeah.
And so when Mr. Adson went in business, he went up, they'd sell them to you. If they had them with that syrup in, they didn't want to clean them.
Yeah.
I guess it's cheap, maybe to buy a new bottle and it was to clean it. He'd go up and buy them, or they'd buy them from whoever had them, restaurants or something. I think it's a dime a piece, or maybe 50 cents for the whole box, or a quarter or something. He'd buy them. I never did buy any. I just worked for him then, because I quit making it and started buying it already made. By the time I took it, but I made thousands of gallons for him, because he bought it with a trailer load of apples.
Yeah.
But they had them old jugs. We put him shot down there, and a little bit of detergent. Put the lid on it, shake it. Ooh, I just cut every bit of that out.
And then BBs in there.
Went right in the bucket, and he had a strainer. Get you another hand. You just put your little cup in there. You'd have a pile of them. Just use them over and over and over. So you next time, after you get built up, you put 10 bags of BBs in there and do the same thing. And just keep putting them in. You might lose one every now and then.
Sure.
You just shake them, and BBs real good too.
Clean it right up.
They clean it right that bottom. See, shake it.
Yeah.
You just clean it like it, and then you rinse it.
And you're good to go.
You're ready to go.
It's amazing.
I mean, everything, so many things back in the old days had to be done by hand. I got one of the gas pumps that you had to pump. We saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to pump it up. No electricity. See? And the oil tanks, you fill your bottles, no electricity.
Yeah.
And the pumps, stuff you pump your tires up, no electricity.
Yeah.
And break them down yourself. I got one of the first ones out.
Uh-huh.
You know, they'd leave them, you break them, set them on the ground, and break the tire down. Boy, I like that old history stuff. Oh, boy, I loved it. My daddy take me everywhere he went, and that was their livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, they had to see. People don't know about that nowadays. Kids will never know about what even you saw, much less what I saw.
No.
I mean, it was just a
different world.
See, that A model, I was telling you, when Mike first got in it, I said, now this is a different ride. And he said, well, your battery's down. I go, boom. I said, Mike, that's called a self-commencer.
Self-commencer.
I said, look here, when you crank it, choo, that thing's got to start on the crank. Pew, and it go, you know, and it started like that. 2 uhs, and it's right, 2 or 3 uhs, and it's ready to go. Well, I thought the battery was down. I said, no, the battery ain't down.
The self-commencer.
He gets in it to drive, and he takes off, and I said, now, look here, shift your gear. I'm waiting to get down to the end of the road, and he's trying to shift like a modern car. So you can't do that. It's not that kind of transmission. You can't get it in gear. And see, the first one I ever drove, I went to try to buy one, and I got in. The old man said, take her down the road. And I said, I got in it, and I done the same thing. He said, have you ever drove one of these before? And I said, uh-uh.
No.
He said, go 10 feet and change gears.
10 feet.
10 or 12 feet. 10 feet if you're on level ground. If you're going to go a hill, 5 mile an hour, leave it wherever it has to be.
Yeah.
But see, they got so much torque at high gear. You go 10 feet, change gear, and they go tut, 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 tut. Put it in the high, and it's still going tut, 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 tut. And you get high, it's go up a hill, and it just starts getting faster and faster, faster in high gear. See? And the T models was worse than that. I never did like a T model at all. It had 3 pedals. Didn't have no transmission. They'd run off bands. And one of them was a brake.
Yeah. And
one of them pushed down was low. And the other one, it went down. One was clutch. No, it wasn't clutch. You cut in there. But to push the pedal down was low gear, and take your foot and pull it back with high gear.
Did you have a gas pedal?
Huh?
Did you have a gas pedal?
They had a gas pedal and a throttle.
Oh.
Just like a tractor.
Yeah.
So if you want to go down the road, you just set your throttle where you want it. Dug.
Throttle on one side and spark on the other.
Just head down the...
Cut the spark down if you're going to crank it. So you start it with the battery and everything if you're going to start it. You put the spark down. That's where it starts at. And then once you do that, it goes, pull it down. It's something to see. It'd really be good to take kids out in one of those things and let them really see what you can do.
Yeah.
And so next time he went out, I said, let's go around the block again, this thing. I want to show you how to do it. I told him what the old man told me. He said, man, you can't drive this like a car. You got to do it a model way. And I said, now go 10 feet and change gears. And he did. And I said, see, you're the same speed. Now go 10 more feet. We're going to go around the block outside of it. Now change gears.
That's a pretty sound of it.
Oh.
Get one that's right, and let it sit and idle.
Mm-hmm.
You can count the licks on.
Tut. Ain't that beautiful?
Oh, yeah.
We're supposed to go, me and Mike's supposed to go to Creed Daniels Monday and help him do something. And I'm talking about this guy that's a master on them A-models. He builds them from the ground up.
On Java.
And look here, they have a bunch of them gathers around there where he's got barns full of stuff. And if you're a club member, he gives you what you want. He won't say you nothing. And he'll help you do anything. He's just a good guy. That's his life.
Yeah.
A-models. They were all kinds of antique cars. He's got a lot of them. But he's got one hooked up now. The motor and transmission sitting there. They got transmissions. A-models did. T-models had bands. You had to adjust them about every 200 miles. They're just a little above a horse and buggy. And that's the reason I didn't want to work on one every 200 miles. But these others, you can drive them to Canada. They drive them to Canada. I've drove them out of state and Kentucky and been on the big ferry boats with us, about 20-something others at a time. But what he does, it's got the way the transmission is fixed. And when I got him learning how to shift his gear, when you're going high, you got a lot of power. Well, when you're going down the road, if you're on a trip, you got a luggage rack that comes across your running board, put your stuff down in, get in from the driver's side. Then, you know, how you can pick that transmission, shift up, and shove it up to the front and get it out of the way, and it still goes in high gear. And it'll just tut, 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 tut. But what I was going to tell you about this man, when you go up there to his house, they've got a motor sitting there. It looks like it is new. He probably built it. He's got it ready. He may change them out because he changes motors, put new motors in them. He builds them. Mm-hmm. And I got an exhaust pipe running through the wall, and there'll be like maybe 8 or 10 people there. They hang out there, his buddies. And they start that thing, and they sit there and let it run the whole day. Rather, you know, talk.
Just let it run.
And it sits there and go, tut.
Background noise.
Tut, tut, tut. They just want to hear it run, you know.
Yeah.
Like that guy went out with Mr. Walker or something and we're going fox hunting. Mm-hmm. And foxhounds started barking. He told that city boy, said, listen to that pretty music. And he said, I can't hear nothing but for them old dogs barking.
One man's music, another man's noise, right?
And more foxhounds, but they can tell you which dog's leading.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. They know that bark, that sound.
They know their dog.
Yeah.
Really? Well, it's something, sit there. You never did go fox hunting.
I know.
Sit there with them. Sometimes they got a quart of moonshine. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're just chewing tobacco or whittling.
Uh-huh.
They get up there and turn them dogs loose. Listen, boy, listen. That's old Blue. He's on Walnut Ridge over there. Listen to him. Listen to him. He got one tree, boys. Don't go over. He got one tree, coon or something, you know. Listen to him. And that ain't your dog, that's my dog. I said, no. You want to put a little money on it? We'll walk over and see. I guarantee you it's Blue.
Oh, yeah.
I got $5 says it's Blue, and they'll start betting on them dogs.
I know one time I met her before, but I did. He never was much in hunting and stuff like that because he worked all the time. Some of his friends finally talked him into going fox hunting with him. Man, they said it was cold. Said they built a big old fire and stuff. Said he finally dozed off sleep. Said he woke up and said, oh, them old dogs.
They come back.
Said he take a big piece of brush, go right down across the fire, dogs and all. Said he old dogs. Yep. Daddy said, well, you're crazy. I'm going home. So I said, if you're freezing to death, said, them old dogs ain't worth shooting.
They came back, huh? Got by the fire.
Got by the fire.
Oh, you talk about, I wish we'd took more advantage of Mr. Walker's stories when he was coming over here.
Yes.
I like for him to tell some of his dog tales. Boy, he could have told you something. We like froze to death. I told that when it crawled under him. It snowed and he got stuck in a station wagon and he crawled under him. Dogs, he had about 5 dogs he said on top of him, keep him from freezing to death.
Yeah.
And we was going to do a show in Kentucky, I believe, or somewhere there. Fred Smith sitting in the back seat and Mr. Walker said, I know you boys don't like to ride these dogs, but said, now that dog saved my life one time. 5 of them, I crawled under them, so got back there in the back and piled them dogs on me to keep me freezing to death. Fred looked over and said, David, if you get too cold, throw on another dog. Throw on another dog. It's like a blanket or something. Throw on another dog.
I tell you, it really takes hunting serious. Them bird hunters.
Oh, yeah.
Their dogs.
Mm-hmm. Bird dog.
They point anything beside the bird, they'll shoot them.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean,
they're serious.
They point a rabbit or anything besides what they're hunting. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, they train them and they spend their time doing it. And if they ain't that good of a dog and they point no rabbit or something, well, you'll shoot him. Say, well, you would take him back home.
When Mr. Walker told, it might have been true, might not, I don't know, but he said that I was talking to him about a bird dog. I never did get into bird dog much. He said I couldn't sell them very well, so I had this one. I said, I was showing this guy what a good dog it was. I said, we went out there and said, there's a big old patch of honeysuckles, and that dog pointed. I said, boy, when he pointed, said, I went over and shook him bushes, and here come out a covey of birds. Said, went a little further and said, there's some more thicket growed up. Said, he pointed, and I shook him out to show the guy the birds was in there. I said, that dog don't lie. He never misses. Went a little further and said, we was headed home, back to the house, and said, there's a big old honeysuckle growed up. It was thick as hops, and said, it's up high as a house. It's growed up in there, and said, that dog pointed. And he said, I shook, and I shook, and I shook, and said, there wasn't nothing. That means I believe your dog started lying. He said, no, I know there are birds in there, because he said, so I walked in there and said, there's a little boy standing back in there. He had him a hideout built in them honeysuckles. And I said, son, did you see some birds fly out here? He said, no. He said, you got a bird in your pocket? He said, no. He said, what's your name? He said, Bob White.
Bob White?
That's like that. And Joe said he took a guy out like that and trying to sell him a dog. He said, yeah. I said, what it is? I said, he knows your farm. He knows all these birds is. I said, let's go down here across the river. I said, this man's farm, and see what he does. Oh, Lord, no. I said, we can't do that. He said, why? He said, well, because he lives to fish, and we never would get him across. He had to get across the lake. Oh, man, that is just good money.
Yeah.
You've heard some good tall tales. Okay, Howard. Now, you knew L.E. from the barbershop days and playing music and driving for him, and then I come back there in the back one day. Owen was back there, I think, and there you sat.
Yeah.
I never had met you.
No.
And when everybody left, Howard was still there, hanging around with us. You know, he hadn't saw Ellie in a while. He said, David, said, I want to introduce you to, said, this is one of my best friends, Howard McLean, said, you know, said he loves music, and said, I was just laying here. He's laying over on bed. Me and Howard standing around. L.A. was kind of the lazier type, I guess, a little bit. He didn't get too big a hurry, did he?
No.
And he said, I could see him laying there, and he said, you know, I just looked at you two, and I think you two ought to be together. He said, so he introduced us. And I guess the next day we started being together.
Yeah.
Howard just about.
Yeah, sure did.
I mean, we just...
He's the bod.
Howard just started coming by. Of course, I was going to play music, and I said, let's go, Howard. And he said, if you need me to help you, I'll help you. Or Lord, unloading the cars and putting up PAs. And,
Well, yeah.
and he said, what are you going to do when you get home? I said, I don't know. We started another shift, see? He didn't know it. He didn't know it was clockwork around the clock. Well, I need him bad. I need somebody like me, strong and
Yeah.
didn't care to lift.
Didn't care to work.
And I hit luck on him. Oh, he went on after he'd been there a while, it was just pretty good for a while. He went on a strike, you know. Oh, I had him working. Oh, it was hot. Do you remember that July? We was working on a trailer park. Oh, it was so hot. Howard looked over at me and he said, you know, I'll be glad when that strike's over so I go back on vacation.
Get done with working.
That's right. It was vacation. You worked on Christian. Part of what we was doing.
Howard would be, he'd be right there. I mean, we'd come in at night, and he knows, I mean, he knows the witness, he helped do it. We'd come in at night after we played a show to 10, 11 o'clock, and he'd say, we going to do anything else tonight? And I said, well, we could set some monuments. Then he'd take the truck and go set monuments, wouldn't he?
Yeah. Sure.
12 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Had them big old lights back there. It's good and cool, man.
But nobody over there except me and David and the Spooks.
David and the dead folk, right?
I tell you, I must have been lucky. I guess the good Lord took care of me because I didn't have a whole lot to worry about. But I was setting this big monument. It's big. And I don't know how that hook got twisted some way. That piece probably weighed 1,000 pounds. I had the base. They call it make up snakes and putty. And I laid it right where it's supposed to go. You got a mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it over, and this boy's on one side, not on the other side. And was gonna put little boards under it so you could move it.
Mm-hmm.
So you got this thing that lift it. You push it in where you want to. If you can't set it perfectly, then you measure. If 3.5 inches, 3.5 inches, whatever you want. That thing fell. It didn't hit our fingers, it didn't hit us or nothing. It fell and sat down perfect. More than it did, I didn't pay attention to it. And that woman was standing there looking at it. I grabbed the measuring tape. I said, I don't even think we want to move it. See, already tried on the mark. It fell perfect. It hit right on that glue. That's what I got to do. It's called snakes, cut it off. And that woman said, is that the way you set them? I said, well, it holds them better if you mash that down real good. Hey, first thing I looked to see if that many corners.
Make sure everybody had their
you
toes.
Get level, didn't chip it, didn't do nothing. And I said, no, that's the way you, I said, you put pressure on them to make us glue stick. I said, see, they hollowed the center part out, and the suction's what holds that together.
I didn't know that.
And like a set of upper false teeth, you might learn that someday. That's where it fit.
Yeah.
See, you got the middle, it's just perfectly round. I mean, flat, perfectly flat. All the way around, it's sanded slick as that right there. And that middle's got the bow in it, so air go around, and then you put that glue to it, and suction
holds it.
Well, you can't hardly.
Oh, yeah,
off. You can take that thing now and start scooting it because that stuff sets up.
Yeah, till it dries.
When that sets up, you're pretty well locked down. You can knock them over if you hit them truck or something, or a tractor, but they don't normally.
It's amazing.
But that thing, it cut our hand off. It took our feet off.
Well, sure.
We just turned around and get the boat. They got little strips that put in there so you could still maneuver it. And that thing said, bam! I had it right over it where I thought was the right place, and it was.
You're lucky.
I measured it, and it was just exact. I couldn't got it no better if I had scooted around. But that woman looked at it, she said, whoa, is that where you set them? And I said, yeah, just get pressure on that. She bought it.
Quick thinking.
It didn't hurt it, so I...
No, it didn't hurt it.
I said, boy, we had some help on this. Yeah.
How far did it fall?
Oh, it fell about that far.
Oh, wow.
1,000 pounds? It's about 18 inches up. Because we was fixing to let it on down, see. He was pushing, let it on down, but I was going to put on some strips.
Yeah.
Yeah, it fell about 18 inches or maybe a little, right in that area. I mean, it hit hard. Bam. I thought to myself, oh,
it's going to break.
Broke all four corners off of it. Of course, it was perfectly flat. It hit perfectly flat, I guess.
All's well that ends well.
Squish that glue out. I mean, them snakes come out. You just take a knife and cut them off.
Clean it off. Good
Put it
Lord.
back in the can because you still reuse that. But when that thing hit, though, it was scared me.
I reckon.
Here's that. We both just turned around when it done it.
So
something about that hook got turned. I don't know how it done it. Because it was safe. All of it was safe.
That stuff just like putty. You just taking it wide out and like that in your hand, you know, it makes like a snake.
Yeah.
All the way around. It sits
on it and seals it.
It's there, buddy.
It's there.
It sits up. It's there. Yeah.
I didn't know what the deal was when I first started setting.
What got you setting monuments, David? What got you setting monuments? Did you help?
It was back in the 70s. I tried, in the 60s, I just determined that I was going to open a new business every year. So in the 60s, I done so many things. I opened a turkey shoot. Got me a job driving a school bus in Holland, and I was real young, and they let me haul all these big trips on a bus at like Nashville and political, everything. All the bus drivers was old and they didn't want to go out of town, and I didn't care where I went, so I had to have some money. And I'd drive, first time I ever saw Nashville, I drove a bus all over it. And so I got into that, and I got in bussing. Well, first off, I went inside her. And then I got up, and I drug poles off that hill and put around it. And I had these clotheslines. And I had this guy from Dalton, Georgia, bring me. I got one of them on my trunk up there now. You saw it, didn't you? Old Peacock.
Yeah.
Peacock. Oh, that was the biggest seller in chenille bedspreads that you ever saw. And I'd hang them all the way down the road there, about 20 bedspreads. And what I did, I sit on cider and bedspreads and all that, and I just kept coming on up till it got where I got old enough to own some trucks. And that's when I traded my car for a truck. And you had to be 21 then to get driver's license for that stuff. You know, I had to be 21 to get special chauffeur license.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd never be able to afford. I had 3 old trucks. I said I can't afford the insurance on them. So what I done, I put them all in Faye's name. She's 14 years older than me. She'd get cheap and she'd write me down as a driver. You know, put your household down or whatever. And so all the trucks was in her name. And so I hauled rock and stuff. I started doing that. When 68, I was 66. I built the music barn. And in 70, I built a barbershop. It's an apartment now. But we put a barbershop in, had a grade A barbershop. And then I'm trying to tell you how they come up. And then Mr. Absent moved in somewhere in that neighborhood and had the art shop. We had the art shop, the big trailer down there that sold all kinds of art, pictures and things, a gallery.
Yeah.
And we had the music barn by that time, and we had the cider barrel, and then we had the store. It's a grocery store. But see, there wasn't no interstate, and these people, to start with, up to all that was parking lot there, just a barrel and that store is all we had to start with. And then we started from there, because I use it in big trucks to park around, especially these horse training, these horse people, because they get their horses out and dip that water out and let them drink good spring water.
Yeah.
And we kept coming up, and then we went to lawnmower shop in 68. And 70, I built another building at a radiator shop, not an air conditioner shop. In 69, we had art shop and all that. We just kept on putting in a business every year.
Yeah.
I was going to open a new business every year. And so it got me into everything.
A bunch of stuff.
I got into everything. And so then I started playing music. In the early 60s, I went Bonnie and Buster.
Yeah.
I just played a little bit in the Sky Hardman in Gatlinburg. I was sanding floors, too, working for this company, and I quit that. That was 1964, and went playing music for a living. And so I just kept on adding on something, and everything fit pretty good, see, because I could drive in the daytime, and I could pedal when I got out. Then I could still go play music at night, and weekends on time you pedal.
Yeah.
Because maybe you might take Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, but I just do Friday and Saturday. And I get in by 1 or 2 o'clock, and it's time to do turkey shoot. I had everything just on time.
Yeah.
I get up in the morning and go out there and run that peddling route. I sell all that stuff, and then I go get hog molly, or orange molly. And it'd be loaded down for a turkey shoot, and I put it there and back it in. Everything was right on time.
Yeah.
Turkey shoot start 2 o'clock, 2 to question mark. You run out of money.
Yeah.
And I do turkey shoot, and then I get a turkey shoot, I go play music. I had everything. See, Howard knows how it was. Everything was right on schedule, wasn't it, Howard?
Oh, yeah.
And he knew every hour. He knew when it come 5 o'clock, if we had to play at 7, I'd say, Howard, we better go get a bath and get some show clothes on. It's going to be showtime here in a few minutes. And man, we need them. I'd wear cut-off shorts and no shirt and stuff. I'd dark as gingerbread. And me and him would just get up there and put our show clothes on and jump in that Cadillac limousine I had. Go play music. And we'd come back. He'd say, well, you going to do anything tonight, or are we taking off? I said, no, we could do something. We could set monuments, or we could kill chickens, or we could work on a building. Well, we work sometimes to hit tag, go to work next morning. I didn't stop.
Well, many a time.
Yeah, well, just any
I
time.
lived over, and I lived over in the field there.
Mm-hmm.
I'd go over and take me a bath and go right straight to work to Oak Ridge. Work all day and come in. What we going to do tonight? We find something to do.
It was bad. He should have never asked that.
Yeah. Always something to do.
Oh, there was. Yeah.
I'll tell you, one of the hardest things me and him done was stack heavy furniture.
Yeah.
See, I need a building real bad.
Yeah.
I had built one for dumpster,
Mm-hmm.
and they had moved out, and I let a guy put about $1 million worth of antique. Oh, he had high dollar stuff, marble top. I bought a chest of drawers, 5 or 6. I'd be $700 or $800, and they had it for $5. But I didn't know who owned it. This woman come in there and they brought all that stuff in there and they rented it. And she left me with all this furniture.
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea this rich guy owned it out in Texas or somewhere. He put her in business. And one day the FBI come in and said, want to see David WYSH. I said, right here. And he said, do you have a building with a lot of furniture in it? And I said, yeah. I'd like to know who owns it. I ain't had no rent in 6 months. I said, of course, I got good collateral. And he laughed. I went up there and he said, I know who owns that. I said, I'm on this case. Said, you'll get your money. Don't worry about it. I said, this is a very rich, honest man. He said, I'm going to tell him what your deal is and give him your address. And he sent me all of it in one payment. And I said, well, I never did done him more, and he'd go 6 months. I guess he was real busy, and then he'd always pay it about 2 or 3 times, make about 3 payments or 2 a year. Well, I got needing that building.
Mm-hmm.
And when he got it, he said, I'll need it about a year. And I said, okay. Well, 5 years went by, and he still had it. And so he said, that's when they told me, said, you know what that's worth? And I said, no. He said, that's about $1 million worth of inventory in there. Oh, it was nice stuff. So
it was furniture. It was wood furniture.
Really?
Marble tops, you couldn't hardly lift it. Me and him, we were stout as mules, me and Howard was, because I was in my prime, and he'd done primed a little better than I was. Yeah. I need the building real bad. And I'm going to go lease a building because I'm fixing to open more store up. And so I'm taking the air conditioner shop and opening it up into more store because I had to have more store. I was running that room, and I thought, boy, that's awful. I'm going to pay
You
twice
got a building
as much.
right now.
I never did go up on his rent, and I said, I'm going to pay twice that much to get a building. And I was in there and been Howard sitting there, and this building's real high because I run a forklift. I said, Howard, I got an idea. And he said, what is it? We'll go get some of that heavy pasteboard like they ship in Martin's in. We'll put it on top of half of this here, and we'll stack a piece on top of a piece, and it won't skin it or nothing because it was real thick.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, that might work. I said, give me half of this building. I'll still be getting the same amount of rent, and we can get by with half of it. I can move the stuff in here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we got the we got the hype on there. When we did, I looked at it. I said, if we go up one more, we'd hit 2/3 of the building.
One more level.
He said, how you going to get up there? I said, I got 2 step ladders. And we went up. I wish we'd stacked them heavies on the bottom. And we went back over and stacked it.
With the step ladder.
They got me 2/3 of that building.
Lord.
Tell them about our eating up there.
His mother, was what happened. She brought us one of them big old hamburgers, left in aluminum foil, steak burgers.
Yeah.
Sauteed onion, lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise. I give David time to sit there and look. I said, if we stack get 3, how we get 2/3 this building? I said, well, I guess so. But how are we going to do that? Well, I got 2 step ladders. So you reckon we can do that? I said, we can try and see. We done it.
Well, how'd you do that?
Oh, that's heavy. Like killed
He
us.
got on one ladder and I got on the other. We broke it up with the ladders, set it up on there. Get back down, get another piece.
Put more pasteboard and went right on that. Up the top. Had
Well,
2/3 of the building.
It was up there to use the ceiling.
And that guy still kept it about 5 more years, three or five. I forget which one.
And he finally come and got it?
He paid the same amount of rent. And one day he called and said, if you see a big old van up there, a big old moving van, we're going to move that stuff out. Said, I'm sending you a check, catch you up on all your rent. And so he did, and so we got down there.
Wow.
And they had the whole building.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, we done stuff as people just wouldn't do it.
Of course, we done that then when we got the half of the building. Then we went down to the garage, 3 dump trucks over some tools and parts and stuff.
Oh, it was loaded. We had three dump trucks. 2 or 3 dump trucks.
Yeah, hauled it up there and placed everything where you wanted it. Then we got that. It was about probably 2 o'clock in the morning then. We went down there and knocked that concrete wall out where the Martin room is now. Mm-hmm. That big petition concrete.
Yeah, so the carpenters come there and do the inside. Yeah. They had put pegboard up.
David told him, said,
ceiling.
Come down here in the morning and said, I want you to finish this out, carpenter it up.
Start on it.
He said, I'll see you in about 2 weeks. David said, no, we'll be ready in the morning. No, ain't no way you're going to be ready in the morning.
He was still working on part of the other, and all my maintenance work like that. And he said, I got to come back in here in the morning, do a little bit of trim or something down there. And I said, bring your work tools because you're going to go in here. We got to put up pegboard and one of them drop ceilings. I said, look how high the ceiling is in here. We could put big trucks in there. Mm-hmm. You won't be ready for 2 weeks, he said. Then, yeah. He come back in. What'd you do? Work all night? And I said, no, not all night. I'll always step out here first.
Wait at 4 o'clock.
You knew he couldn't get that much stuff out there, didn't he? I mean, this was cabinets of car parts and stuff. It was big. But it surprised him, didn't it?
Moved it all from there back up in the garage?
Yeah. That boy worked for David. He had a wheelbarrow, and he run with it, unloading them blocks as we'd break.
We was cutting them out.
Yeah.
That's work.
Yeah. I was in pretty good shape, but I take a 16-pound sledgehammer and I hit that wall, and that hammer bounced back. And when it got me a little hole knocked in it, boy, we can go to work.
Go to town.
Chip her out. Yeah.
That first hole was rough, wasn't it?
Yeah. We got it knocked out, and David had a steel pole set up under that beam to hold it.
Yeah, we left a little bit on both sides. We put that pole so you had a roof up.
Keep the roof from falling on your head.
I looked at that and I said, Lord, I forgot about
this. It's still right there, ain't it, David?
Yep.
Yeah, and that old boy said, he said, if you got any, how do you get he worked for me through the day. How do you get a high-up job? And I said, get you that wheelbarrow and go to work. You can work at night. I said, we'll pay you right on food. And yeah.
Grabbed it and went.
I mean, he was fast he could get back. We was ready for him.
We had another load ready time he got back.
Yeah, because we didn't want to double handle it. So
yeah.
Wheelbarrow, and he took off with it. We had another wheelbarrow load cut out. Boy, that was a lot of cutting too, wasn't it?
Yeah. His daddy made the blocks.
Yeah.
It wasn't no cinder blocks.
It
was concrete blocks.
Yeah, solid.
My daddy,
concrete poured down through them.
My daddy made them blocks. They weighed 90 pounds apiece. It was made out of cement and marble dust. They had a rig out there on the highway. I had a Cadillac I bought just about new. It was about 3-year-old, I guess. Mm-hmm. And this guy, he's rich. He owned Knoxville Scenic Studios. He was coming in there to see Mr. Epstein to get Mr. Epstein did like a Holiday on Ice and all that stuff. He was coming in there to work out because he put a lot of the draperies and stuff in them things, Mm-hmm. And he was coming in there, and he had a signal light on. This guy coming in that curve, he hit him in the hind end. When he did, he was pretty old, about like I am now, I guess. He hit the gas instead of the brake, and that guy hitting him too, and he comes straight in there. My Cadillac hit it dead center, straight on, head on. Didn't park, locked up, and knocked it in that building, busted them big old heavy-duty blocks.
Oh, wow.
That car looked like an accordion. It just took the front, he took the front end in, the back end went in the block. I mean, it
Squished it.
and we did while he of course the insurance they paid me and everything, but he said, I said, what happened? I knew him too. What happened, mister? And he said, well, he said, I was going to turn in, and said, this guy hit me right in the back, and said, I reckon I thought I was hitting the brake and hit the gas. I helped him. We've been through a bunch, ain't we, Hard?
Yeah, sure have.
We're getting sewn up, Tom.
Yeah. It's already 11:30.
But I'll have to say one thing. It wasn't handed to David. He worked for every bit of it.
Yep.
Because I started with him on a lot of it.
I never slept for 4 hours a night. That's all I ever slept.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. Walker was the same way, wasn't he? He just slept 4
I
hours.
learned that from him. You got to get 4 hours sleep. But anyhow, Doug has got some big shows going on Saturday night, Friday night,
Yep.
karaoke night, and we got some sales going on some Martin guitars right now.
Got a lot of Martins, doesn't he?
We've got quite a few of them.
Good. Good.
And some Fender stuff, and we run some big stuff on that. So all of them. Of course, he's got some good brands too. That Crossroads is a real good one. But come over and see them. They got different bands. They have they have a different band every week or
Yeah.
Saturday night.
Yep.
He's got a good sound.
Oh man, he's got a sound in
it's
there.
right.
Lighting is pretty in there now. It's really
Yeah.
nice.
And what times he start on Saturday? 7?
7 o'clock, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, go in there and it's a good family thing. We bring your kids and no drinking and all that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
They have a good show. I mean, they are good. He's got good musicians. They can play. A lot of them's from Nashville, you know.
Yeah.
A girl that played for Bill Anderson, she's there a lot of times. And
Well,
different one, Donnie and Patty, they have Johnny Fee, he's real good, and Ted Graves, he does one once a month, I think. They got them worked out where they do. Boy, they are good, though. But we get to see, Barney's supposed to be here with a special guest.
I think he
Let
said
me
he's
tell you the
coming with
lineup.
Bill.
He's got Alan Williams next week, ain't he?
No, he's got Bill next week, and he was going to bring Alan on April 4th. I'm not going to be here on April 4th,
Okay,
so
and
he's
then-
going to do it on the next week.
We've got 3 Williams. We've got Alan Williams coming,
Mhm.
Bill Williams coming, and Jack Williams coming. Jack is the photographer.
Okay. Well, good. Well, the Williams clan,
Yeah.
the Williams boys. That'll work. All right.
So I guess that's it.
All right, then. We'll call it a day. And hopefully next week Sammy will be here, and I think Bill's coming next week. Mr. Bill Williams is.
Okay.
All right, then. Until then, have a great day, everybody.
Thank you for listening to AM 1380 WYSH and Ask Your Neighbor. Make sure you tune in at 10 a.m. each day, Monday through Friday, right here on AM 1380 WYSH and BBB TV 12. Or listen live online at WYSHradio.com. And remember, if you have a question, comment, or problem, call in tomorrow and ask your neighbor. Or email from our website. It's Ask Your Neighbor. Thanks for listening.